Hello everyone, thank you so much for clicking on today's video and welcome to my channel. Today's a really interesting story in which OP reaches out to Reddit because he's thinking about breaking up with his girlfriend over her $250,000 debt. That is an ungodly amount, and that too with variable interest. I can't. Luckily, it does kind of end on a positive note, at least for OP, so stay tuned for the update to find out. I do hope that you enjoyed this story. If you do, please leave a thumbs up. And before I move on to the story, I just wanted to take a second and thank all of my subscribers and all of the people that watch my stories. You guys are the things that keep me going. If you do like my content, I'd really appreciate it if you could hit the subscribe button. Anyways, thank you so much for your time and on to the story. I, a 30-year-old male, I'm considering ending my relationship with my partner, a 26-year-old female, due to her being $250,000 in debt. I'm a 30-year-old male with a well-paying job, roughly about $100,000 a year, and no debt. However, my girlfriend has $250,000 in private student loans from her undergraduate education at a private school. The loans have a variable interest rate, which recently hit over 11%. After doing the math on the loans, I'm devastated to see how fast they're growing. She will need to put $25,000 a year into it just to keep it in the same place, which essentially means that I will never have financial help during our relationship. Additionally, she'll have to work so much just to pay off the loans that she won't have much time to help around the house or with our future children, if and when we have some. I keep blaming myself for not being able to deal with it because it's just money, right? However, when I look at the reality of the situation, I can't help but feel that I need to walk away from this situation. Moreover, she plans to go back to school in the fall for a higher paying job, which will realistically bring in around $60,000 to $85,000 per year, with the possibility of up to $125,000 a year if she works herself to death. However, this program will add another $30,000 in federal loans. I think it's a bad decision, but it seems to be the only option she has to increase her income. I don't want to wait until I'm 45 for this debt to be paid off before having children, and I don't want to put my life on hold in this way. However, I love her a lot, and we've talked a lot about this and her plan to pay off the loans. It now feels like my only options are either to accept that this is reality and that it will be many years before she's free of this debt, or end the relationship. Do you have any advice? One Redditor said, "It's just money? No, it is the rest of your life and your own goals. It is fair to worry about it. This is the rest of your life you're talking about here." And in reference to OP saying, "It now feels like my options are either accept this as reality and that it will be many years before she's free of this debt, or end the relationship." To which the Redditor said, "Yep, those are your options." And OP replied, "I appreciate you reframing that for me. I keep saying to myself, it shouldn't be about money, but I guess ultimately it isn't. It's about the goals that I have for my life." Another Redditor said, "You have to pay the price of a house just to marry this woman? Damn, key piece that's missing is how long you've been together and why you're thinking about this now." To which OP replied, "We just hit 2 years. I started considering marriage and our future, and I asked for more in-depth details about her loans and her plan to pay them off. I knew that it was a large amount, but I did not know that it was all private, variable, and as large as it is." I'm adding context to my previous comment. Private loans are not eligible for PSLF, which is Public Service Loan Forgiveness, as it's a federal program. Student loans are not eligible for bankruptcy. Currently, my girlfriend lives with her family and has a job that earns just over $30,000 a year. She will begin a program in the fall that will last for about 1.5 years, and she'll have the potential to earn between $65,000 to $125,000 per year after completing it. The original loan amount was around $180,000 for her undergraduate education at the private school, but it has grown due to the interest. Her mother co-signed on some of the loans, but she has a mindset that her investments make more than paying into her daughter's loans. We've been together for 2 years and I've discussed the situation with her at length. Lastly, I want to thank those of you who said that I'm not a bad person for thinking about this and that my feelings are valid. It means a lot to me. I'm going to take some time to consider my options and make a decision within the next week or so. I wanted to give an update. After reading all of your comments and picking up a book about decision making in regards to money and love, I'll share if anyone is interested. I've come to the decision that I do sadly need to end the relationship. She's a wonderful girl and honestly my best friend, but the reality of her financial choices would alter the course of my life in such a profound way that all I can see is resentment in the end. I have to stop guilting myself into sacrificing myself for others to the point of my own mental turmoil. I grew up in a foster to adopt family as the oldest, and I think that I learned then to forget myself and care for others to earn love. But part of this decision is learning to remember myself again. Thank you for all of the advice. It really helped me see that either choice is okay to make and that I'm not a failure for saying that it's too much for me. OP then added an additional comment and they say, I understand all of your perspectives. Ultimately, a debt that's growing at $25,000 to $30,000 annually just on interest alone is too much for me to handle. I'll be working to pay for everything else and she'll be working just to keep up with paying off the loans for likely 10 to 15 years. I can't wait that long to begin my life. I do love her. I can love her and still make the choice to walk away for the sake of my future. I've battled with this a lot, but ultimately it's something that I need to do. So guys, what did you think about this? I personally am on OP's side. I honestly cannot imagine getting that serious with someone and then coming in with such a huge financial burden. I totally understand where OP's coming from because I understand that OP has certain goals in his life and goals that he wants to achieve with his partner. And a huge debt like that, especially when you get married, is not something that you can isolate just to the other party alone. It's going to become a part of your life. Whether you pay it off directly or even if your partner's paying it off, it will affect the relationship that you two have. And I understand that there are some people that are willing to take that responsibility on, but I totally don't blame OP for walking away. Anyways, I'd be really interested to know what you guys thought about this. Please let me know in the comments down below. If you did like this, I'd really appreciate it if you could leave a thumbs up. And please subscribe if you'd like to hear more stories from Reddit with updates.